On this week's KSP News Show, clamshell fairings and a search bar in the editor confirmed for 1.1, and KSP 1.1 to enter experimentals. Yes! Yes! Finally! Yes! Yes! All that and more on this week's KSP News Show. Yes!
Reporting live from the Kerbal Space Center, it's your host, Jinli Kerman.
Good morning, evening and afternoon, my fellow Kerbonauts. My name is Jinli Kerman. Welcome back to this week's very special edition of the KSP News Show, because 1.1 is very close indeed. Yes, I'll be going into more detail about that in but a moment, but first I do just want to give a very quick shout out to Veos for giving me a shout out on his channel. It was quite unexpected actually, but I got home from college, I looked on his channel, saw he had uploaded a new video, and I got a shout out of it. And so Veos, I know you watch these videos, dude, and thanks so much, dude, because it really was a nice surprise. I'm glad you enjoy my videos, and I know I certainly enjoy yours, so thanks very much. But anyway, let's get into the news for today. So let's get into that big story for today, which is, of course, as I've mentioned several times already, that KSP 1.1 is going to be entering the final phase of development, experimentals, very soon. In fact, because the dev notes haven't been released and I'm releasing this video so late into the week, they could very well already be in experimentals, but I don't want to confirm that just in case. On the dev notes this week it says, "Hello everyone. Could it be that our time in QA testing is coming to an end? If we are to believe Joe, aka Dr. Turkey, and Ted, it is! Unless something incredible comes up this week, we'll be entering experimental testing later this week. Given the scope of the 1.1 update, which as we all know is much larger than your typical KSP update, it's not going to be your typical process though, but we'll elaborate more on that in a dev blog that should be coming later this week. Everyone is now working towards experimentals. Mostly means a lot of tasks that had been put on hold for the community have had the dust blown off of them. Many of the people who applied to the media group last year and did so successfully will soon be invited to that group, and Casper and Andrea are currently working through the preparations. Meanwhile, Ted is making sure the documentation for the experimental testing team is in order so that they can hit the ground running. It's going to be an exciting period of time until release." Now obviously this is fantastic news, and I was over the moon to actually read this. As I'm sure you're aware, 1.1 has been in development for I think about 9 or 10 months now, something like that, so to finally have this confirmation that it's in the final few phases of development before it goes live for us, the general public and the fans, it's just such a nice thing to hear, because I know Squad have worked hard on this update. If you read the dev blogs, there's been a lot of back-end work, which hasn't made for the most interesting of news shows, admittedly. That's why there hasn't been all that many on 1.1. But with regards to actual performance of the game, it's going to make the game so much better and so much easier to run with the upgrade to the Unity 5 engine. And in the long run, it may even help the game to look a bit nicer as well, because of the enhanced graphical capabilities of the engine. And I'm just generally really happy to see that we really are finally in the final stages of development for 1.1 now. On the other hand, however, I can see this experimental testing taking a lot longer than it usually does with typical KSP updates. Usually in the past, experimentals have been anywhere between 2 weeks and a month with regards to the time that they take. I can see this taking more sort of a month and a half to 2 months. I might be wrong, this is just speculation here. But just because the update is so large, as they do say in the dev blog there, I do think that it will take a lot longer than initially expected to actually go through everything, make sure it's all fit for release and everything. Also, the experimental testing means that, of course, the KSP console versions are getting closer. I have a sneaky suspicion that they will be releasing at the same time as 1.1 drops, or around that same sort of period. So you guys who are waiting for it to come out on console, stay tuned. I think there might be something going on there. I could be wrong, so don't take my word as gospel, but there could be something going on there, so definitely keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. But guys, I want you to let me know how hyped you are for this in the comment section down below. Are you hyped for 1.1? Are you just relieved that it's finally in experimentals? Are you not looking forward to 1.1? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, I am really interested to hear your thoughts. Whew, I think I've calmed down a bit now after that that initial hype sort of excitement rant that I went on for then. A positive rant, mind you, though. So without further ado, I would like to get on to the next story for today, which is about some of the smaller new features that we'll be getting in 1.1, which are pretty damn awesome, and some of them I've been waiting for quite a long time. So if you've been following this show for any period of time, you will of course know that the 1.1 update includes an overhaul of the user interface in all aspects of Kerbal Space Program. That's stuff such as the editor, which I'm about to talk about now, the in-flight stuff, everything like that, just to make it both a bit more efficient on the back end and a bit more visually pleasing on the front end, the bit that you actually see. This is with regards to the editor GUI at the moment, the general user interface for you guys who are not clued in on computers, and this is going to make things, finding parts particularly, a lot easier. If you look at the screenshot that I'm about to put on the screen now, you can see that a search bar has been added into the game, into the user interface here. Now what this will be able to do is very simple. It's like any search bar you've ever used is you simply search for big orange tank. I'll take the top middle example there, and sure enough you'll be able to find an orange tank. It looks like a pretty comprehensive list actually. It looks like all parts seem to have a myriad of different sort of tabs, keywords to actually assign them to certain searches and everything. Like you can type in a term as general as re-entry and you suddenly get parachutes, heat shields and everything. Like I say, big orange tank is very specific. It's kind of very comprehensive in that sort of case there. You can see in the bottom right hand corner as well, you can see if you type in more, you of course get all the boosters, which is a very nice addition in my opinion. Kind of cool. And I generally think this is going to be such an amazing addition into the game, because I can't tell you how many times I have lost my place when searching for parts and I can never find, especially the Gigantor solar arrays. I seem to have a recurring problem with those. Me and them have a love-hate relationship when it comes to actually finding them in the editor. But this is definitely an amazing addition. And another smaller addition, which I'll put the screenshot on round about now, is of course the fairings. When you guys remember my reaction to the fairings when they first got put into 1.0, I believe it was. Yes, 1.0. And I saw their deployment and I just kind of cringed because, well, they look like confetti. And I know some people do like the confetti fairing because it is very Kerbal. But now in the 1.1 update, you'll be able to select whether you want that silly, stupid confetti style, which makes no sense to me whatsoever, or you can choose to have a normal clamshell fairing like this. You can see in the screenshot here, which is fairly standard. You've seen it in a lot of mods beforehand, before 1.0 actually went live. You've probably seen in my videos I do sort of have a clamshell fairing, although it's more than one clamshell, I guess. It's more sort of like I don't know, segments rather than anything else. That's just a mod that I have installed that just makes it the separation of the fairing just a lot cleaner, and it avoids you crashing into bits of it and everything just exploding. So I think I'll definitely be siding with the clamshell designer fairing, but if you prefer the confetti, then that will still be in the game for you to try out and use, obviously, which is still very nice to give us a little bit more leeway, I guess, when it comes to customization. But yeah, that's pretty much going to round it off for this episode, guys. Let me know what you think of these stories that I've covered today in the comments down below. I do read as many of them as possible, as I always do, and it's kind of nice to get a bit of a discussion going down there once again. As always, thanks for Veos for giving me the shout out. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. My name is Jinley Kerman. Remember to like and subscribe for more. This is Jinley Kerman signing off, and as always, stay classy.